Not that it's necessarily relevant, but I tell you what is relevant. It is time now to get to this installment of Fraud Week. There you go. Installments all week, by the way. Today is Georgia. I know Thursday is Michigan. Tomorrow's Pennsylvania and another state. The best thing you can do is comment if you like this segment and let us know what else we should be looking into. So, Georgia voter fraud. The interesting thing about this is that it changed last night.
Yes, it did.
I had this segment kind of prepared where we run it down because people say there's no evidence of fraud.
Right.
And they, well, you know, tens of thousands.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah. We say people media.
Right.
Media says there's no evidence.
But then there was another change last night, and I want to make sure it was in Floyd County. They finished a hand recount. And by the way, it's not a full auditing in Georgia. It's a BS recount. They're not actually counting signatures on ballots. So the fact that they found anything surprised me. They found, another over 2,600 votes. New uncounted votes. The significant majority of which, of course, went to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
And, of course, like all Georgia counties, they use Dominion voting systems. But, of course, they find a fall guy, and according to them, just like the glitch in Michigan with the 6,000 vote, they said, well, someone didn't update the software. In this case, they say that someone, quote, forgot to upload a memory card with the votes.
Was that a flash?
Hold on a second. Why do you need someone to upload what is the point? It's an automated system. Why don't you just hand count ballots then at that point? Either you have a foolproof system to eliminate fraud, or you have people from both parties and accountability to eliminate fraud. You are a miracle, Dominion enthusiast, because you managed to hybridize it, only taking the shitty parts that guarantee fraud.
They should have just asked for for a SIM card from one of the cameras that people weren't allowed to use.
You're not using them, so.
Okay, mind if we grab that memory card?
Grab that memory card. Ups.
Whoops.
So we have a system. Is it better?
How'd you snap that memory card with your fingers? You have good grip strength. I can rip up a frying pan. Want to see that? He's a strong man from the 20s.
It's my job.
What were you about to
He's
say?
on another guy's back.
I already said we're good.
Oh, okay. I always notice, too, there's always a fall guy. Do you notice this trend? It's always like, oh, no, it's not the system. Because we're talking about another glitch with thousands of votes. Yeah. And there hasn't been a single one with thousands of votes to this level that has gone in Trump's favor. So that's another thing. We have the glitch in Michigan, right? There was also another one, I think it was in Connecticut, a Republican just won. I don't know if they were using Dominion voter systems. That seat switched. We had that person who conceded in Michigan, who then won by 1,000 votes, that Republican who had conceded. We had the 6,000 vote switch, and this is just another example. Just last night, 2,600 new votes found. First, I don't know how that happens. Well, the system didn't count them because this asshole didn't upload the card. That's your system? We're supposed to have confidence in the current state of our electorate, and you're like, well, listen, this is the most, remember they came out, this was the most secure election of our lifetime. What if someone forgets a SIM card?
Oh, man. You're hosed.
We're screwed.
God forbid. This is also important, by the way. This number, I don't know if you noticed, it's 6% of the vote from the county.
Oh, wow.
Right, Fulton County, this is Floyd County. Floyd County, it's 5 to 6%. They only have 30-something thousand people in the county. So 6% of the vote. I thought that the media said there's never a difference in any kind of recount. Maybe they use words. We showed them on air. Maybe 4 to maybe 100 votes. They said maybe like 0.1%. How about 6?
Wow.
How about 6%? And keep that in mind that all Georgia voting systems, they use Dominion. So in Fulton County, for example, 6%, 5 to 6% would be over 30,000 votes. Wow. If it happened in Cadalb County, that's one of the counties that obviously is in question, 22,000.
That seems like a lot.
In Georgia, what's the spread down to? 16,000, 14,000?
It's 14.
I think.
So let's just assume it's not a glitch, even though these glitches have happened with this system across the country. The only constant in Michigan, in places like Wisconsin, is Dominion. That's the only constant that we have. But they want you to believe that, well, it's a person who didn't upload the card.
Right.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen anywhere else in the United States.
I know, right? And so CNN has spent all morning, and Allison Camerota even said they've done this recount, and they have come out in most counties exactly the same. Are you telling me she didn't have access to this information where it's 2,600 votes that were not counted at all, period?
And by the way, you know what's hilarious? The election director was forced to step down. And I know that sounds like, well, okay, that makes sense. But think about it. That person was fired from a job they volunteered for that doesn't exist anymore. It's like, don't show up to work. I wasn't. There's no work. And we're not going to pay. You didn't pay me anyway. Why Why are you calling me? This is important.
The principal.
I want you to know. Matter of fact, go piss in that carpet so I can rub your face in it.
Right, yeah.
On television. Think about
But isn't my
fired
job-
from a volunteer
yeah.
job that doesn't exist anymore. That's how severe this was.
Yeah, isn't my job like gone and over? Yes, but we still need you to step down from it. I don't understand.
Look, we need to blame you. That's all.
Yeah.
If you could come back and be rehired for a moment so that we can then fire you, that'd be great.
It would just make us feel good.
We need to blame someone specifically, okay?
Yeah.
We'd prefer you.
Yeah, if you could turn that confused face into a crying face, that'd be really
Right,
helpful
exactly.
for us.
That'd be
Great.
perfect.
Come to this shower. I'll show you.
So they were using Dominion again. There's always a fall guy. There's a fall person in Michigan. I thought, by the way, just so you know, for some reason I panicked. I thought my gun fell out of its holster.
No.
Something fell. It was a monitor here or something. So
Oh,
we're good.
okay.
In case people are saying that I'm not practicing good firearm
It's
safety.
just expensive to
It's
take
right
that.
here. Everyone can see it. Okay.
yeah.
3 other Georgia counties, by the way, using Dominion voting software, they reported glitches. So again, not the biggest ones yet, but the glitches: Spalding County, Morgan County, Gwinnett County. The Republican Chairman David Schaefer reported Fulton County workers, by the way, here's another example of something that went on separate from Dominion, reported that county workers sent poll watchers home on election night, and that makes sense because we were watching election night. They said we're going to resume counting at 9 a.m., and instead they sent poll watchers home and resumed counting in secret. That alone is enough to throw out the vote. People don't understand. That alone throws out the vote because there can be no confidence in it.
Right.
If you tell poll watchers to go home and you keep counting, it's done. It's done. That's it.
Yeah.
Recount, revote, period.
And I'm sorry, you had people that voted in there that their vote should count, but there are rules for a reason. We have to be able to trust in our elections, and when you violate those rules, you have to throw out those ballots because there is no way for us to separate those and go, which ones are real, which ones are not.
Why are you trying to disenfranchise minorities?
No. I'm trying to make sure that we have an accurate
I love how he
vote
defends
count.
himself. It makes it
I'm
worse
not
on you when you
defending
defend
myself.
yourself.
Am not.
Just go along
No.
with it. Otherwise, you're a racist.
I'm not sure that makes sense.
Well, I am. By the way,
Yeah.
hit the notification bell if you're subscribed on YouTube because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot. Notifications let you know when a new segment goes up. And of course, we broadcast live Monday through Thursday. Good Morning Mug Club, 10 a.m. Eastern. The best thing you can do is just comment, like this video, and let us know what you think. So here's another example of Georgia voter fraud. Moving on from Dominion, which again is enough. In the June primary, Secretary of State I always get his name, Brad Raffensperger.
Something.
I don't know. The guy's a dick.
That's a fake
He
He
name.
said that 1,000 residents voted twice by submitting absentee ballots and then voting in person. This was in the June primary.
It's not supposed to be possible.
So that happened back then. And now he's saying, well, we're going to do the count. We're not going to see. They're not doing an actual audit. This is political theater. The recount in Georgia. If you're going to do a recount, do an actual recount. You see, Wisconsin said, "Well, it's going to cost you over $7 million, Donald Trump, if you want to do a recount." So hold on a second, you screwed up. Isn't that the job? Like, if we're going to talk about the separation of powers, right? And I understand we go back and forth. There should be kind of a federal standardized form of voting because it is a federal election. But they give this authority to states and counties, and they handle them in different ways. But if that is the case, then you should also assume the responsibility if there are glitches further than the eye can see. But instead of saying we're not going to handle, it's 20,000 votes.
Right. Yeah. If there is some kind of process where you say, look, there have been problems, you have to do a count because of these irregularities. We didn't cause the irregularities. You did.
Right.
Your county officials did. It's not our fault.
Here's number 5, an example where we're going through voting, just voter fraud. Again, all the links are available at louderwithcrowder.com. We'll have in the description, we'll have the link to the specific article so you guys can have all these sources and share them and research them for yourselves. We talked about how nationally mail-in ballots were accepted at 30 times the rate of the 2016 election. Well, in Georgia specifically, so in Fulton County, they've had a rejection rate of mail-in ballots of only 0.4%. 0.4%, which in a vacuum doesn't sound like a whole lot.
Right.
In 2016, it was over 10 times that. It was 5.77%, which, by the way, is also 5.77% more likely than you catching COVID twice.
But so
So in other words,
Just for reference.
throughout history, a lot of mail-in ballots were rejected because they didn't have signatures.
Right, yeah.
They were potentially fraudulent. The signatures didn't match. But for some reason, now, all of a sudden, particularly the ones that come in the dead of night, 10 to 12 times the rate of acceptance. Nationally, 30 times the rate of acceptance. The only reason that's the case Just to be clear, we talked yesterday about how Elizabeth Warren, Klobuchar, they were all bitching about voter fraud and the potential with Dominion voter systems. We've talked about this in the past where there's been a rejection rate that's always at least in the single percentages, not in the decimals, right? Always in the past. The only reason that now they're all being accepted is because of politicization, and they want you to believe that if all mail-in ballots are not accepted, if all absentee ballots are not accepted, if all unrequested mail-in ballots are not accepted, that people's votes don't count. They never cared about it before. They didn't require, it was never an issue before to have poll watchers. It was never an issue to go, oh, this doesn't have the same signature, we're rejecting it. They rejected them at 10 times the rate in Georgia, 30 times nationally.
Yeah. And I guarantee you right now, if Donald Trump was winning by these slim margins and it was a 5% rejectance rate, they'd be going back into that and saying, no, you threw out too many votes.
Of course.
You know, you got to get that number down.
Fair game. I think we should be throwing out more votes.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't believe in recycling. Here's another thing, too. So we've given you examples of acceptance rates, rejection rates, the glitches in Dominion, right, that we've seen people vote twice in the primaries. And this is one that's just kind of fun, but it also is relevant. They stopped counting on election night for hours because a pipe burst.
Oh, no.
Dear.
So sad.
A pipe burst. But then when a Donald Trump lawyer filed a records request, they could provide no official record of the reason that the voting stopped. And this is, by the way, separate from the fact that there are certain machines that just shut down for hours. We've talked about that yesterday.
They were able, though, to clog the pipe with a ton of Trump votes.
That was what it was, yeah.
They solved the problem.
Yeah,
yes,
fine.
there we go.
You've heard of ballot stuffing? Now we're pipe stuffing with the stuffing ballots. It's like the inception of stuffing shit.
A wet
We
bandits.
fixed two things.
A bird in the hand is better than two bushes.
That old phrase.
And by the way, so there was no official records of the pipe bursting.
Yeah.
That was the excuse they gave. So
right.
these are some information. This is some information the media will never tell you. Like, I don't know. That's kind of that enough to me is evidence of fraud. If you had someone watching your house, right, and you came home and your house was absolutely destroyed and there was water damage, you said, "What happened?" They said, "A pipe burst." You're like, "Oh." Then there's no actual pipe that's burst. You find out he just fell asleep drunk in the bathtub and flooded your top floor, which did happen to me. Thanks, Jeff. You would be suspicious. But the good news is we have journalists on the ground, and actually we do have the exclusive of we want to be fair and balanced.
Good.
Pipe did burst. We have the exclusive.
Let's get out of here! Like now!
Factual.
That's lots of water.
Votes that we'll never get back.
Well shot. I think.
Totally believable.
A lot of
And then
coverage.
here's
Oh my gosh.
Cuts, yeah.
it's about as believable as what they sent.
Oh, yeah.
The lawyer.
Yeah.
It's like, what is? Hold on a second. Pipe burst. I don't see any kind of a font, but something about slick shoes. What is this?
Any clip from Problem Child would seem equal.
Yes.
Look who's talking 3. By the way, here's something else too. This is something that hasn't been reported a lot, and this is circumstantial, but you can find this at Town Hall. Again, you can find it at Louder with Crowder. All the links now we'll be providing on the website. During a recount, there was a monitor who heard 3 miscalled votes in 3 minutes. All of them were Trump votes for Biden. So this person watched someone, they call him out and go, Biden, so-and-so, Biden. And the person said, wait, hold on, that's for Trump. And the person went around to whatever it was, the election director said, hey, so there's some issues going on here. So the election director went over and spoke to this one. This person said, I'm on the taxpayer dime, and this asshole is coming around watching me. Almost like we need to keep our representatives accountable. So 3 times, and again, no example. Now, if there were any stories coming from the left,
none.
Any stories of counters out there, ballot counters, any stories, people on the left, anyone out there, CNN, Brian Stelter, anyone on, I guess there's really no leftists on YouTube or we're the adversaries anymore, but anyone have stories of someone calling out Trump when it was a Biden vote 3 times in 3 minutes?
Let us know.
And in the middle of the night at 4:45 in the morning, that's a lot of minutes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And it's like rollover minutes.
Well, and somebody was 20 feet away, Steven. It's fine.
20 feet away.
Yeah, you could totally call that out.
They got binoculars. They're good.
Yeah.
We should pay these people.
Oh.
I think many of them are paid by the Democratic Party or SEIU.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
point.
Not so much paid as they are rewarded in blunt tools.
That's true.
To inflict trauma.
In a box of bricks.
But what do you I mean, when people say no evidence, what were we about to say? Their
I
audio
was just going to say, now we know why they were so mad at the Russians, because hacking our elections is their job.
This is our space.
That's our thing, yeah.
No hacking without the
Russians are
union.
taking
Well, maybe I wouldn't have to do your job if you did properly first time. like a mistress. Maybe I wouldn't have to please your man if you could too.
Oh,
not
wow.
call me
I do
redback.
better. Sort of counterclockwise swirl. He likes it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the whole thing goes inside mouth.
Oh, jeez. Keep it
Like-
clean. My
Which
gosh.
is ironic because you Americans are one with big mouth, but we know how to keep secrets.
I wait in bread line as little girl for hours.
No, it's true. This is amazing. They talk about Russian interference in the election.
Yeah.
People were furious for 3,000 ads to the tune, was it 3,000 ads to the tune of $10,000
Something
in
like that, yeah.
Facebook ads last election. That's all they had, by the way. No connection to the Trump family.
No.
But in this case, you have thousands of votes that would, and this is an example. People before said, well, the glitch was caught in Michigan with 6,000 votes. Well, hold on a second. That may have only been caught because of an honest elector, by the
Right.
way, who was going against the stream, against the system of people who were trying to suppress votes, of people who were trying to stuff ballots. And this person wasn't there at 4:45 in the morning. God only knows if there was anyone there at that point. But now here in Georgia, we actually have an example of this only being caught from a recount that isn't even really a total canvass or auditing.
Right, exactly. And so the whole point of this is that when you have an irregularity, and that's why we bring it up so many times, that is a sign that you need to investigate to make sure that you catch these kinds of things. And when I see CNN and Jake Tapper tweeted out something the other day, there was like, a couple hundred votes in Arizona that switched. And he was like, yeah, so he still won Arizona by 15,000 votes. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is they shouldn't switch.
Right.
They shouldn't switch in the first place. This is just what we caught,
And
Jake.
do you know how we know they shouldn't switch, or at least why we thought they shouldn't switch? You told me. You told me, Jake, that recounts are just an exercise in futility. That you said 0.1 to maybe 0.4% historically. You used the words 4 to, I don't remember, something hundred. You said maybe it might switch like 4 to maybe like something. What do you, maybe 2,600?
Yeah.
6,000? And again, this is not one that was caught before the election was called, which, by the way, is already preemptively called.
Yep.
This is one that was only caught after when there was a recount, and they've done everything possible to make sure that there is no accountability in this recount. So what does it take when people say there's no evidence? What, do you mean there's no evidence that someone has a stick and a handkerchief and is riding the trails, riding the trains, right, with your ballots? Like, what is it? Is this not proof?
Yeah.
Several thousand that just got found. Nothing in the media? Think about what is it? I guess my question is, what does it take?
Exactly,
if not thousands in different counties and different states, what does it take at this point where you say, we hand recount every single county in the United States, period?
Here's what it takes.
Apparently nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right?
mean, really, it just seems that they don't care.
You know what it takes? It takes Joe Biden losing. That's what it takes.
Yeah,
for the
you're right.
media to push this, for anybody
point.
to push a recount, it takes Joe Biden losing and them saying, no, that's not real.
Right.
This can't happen again.
Or Al Gore in Florida.
Right,
Think
yeah.
about like Kevin Costner, that HBO documentary on the whole recount thing.
Yeah.
And they never tell you. They had 37 days, and Al Gore only wanted to recount 3. They're like, okay, you want to do a recount in Florida? All right, we'll do it. And then he's like, no, I just want to do Miami-Dade and this county. And like, well, hold on, we should do all counties. No, we just want to recount 3 counties, this one and this one. Like, well, if we count the other ones, I think this isn't going to go well for you. I would say that's circumstantial. Just 3 counties, and we didn't hear about the end of it. We want to talk about not accepting an election. They still haven't accepted the results of the 2000 election. Hillary Clinton, I don't believe, has conceded.
Yeah.
She still hasn't even sent out a proxy to concede.
No.
And she's told Biden not to concede no matter what.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the deal.
That changed. The minute that
Oh,
Trump
it did.
lost, it changed.
It changed at the same time when they said it's going to take months to know the results of the election. And all of it changed at about 4:44 a.m.
Yeah.
3 days in a row.
With a graph that was doing this and then went whoop for Joe Biden.
Just that is, put it this, you want to talk about no accountability with the poll watchers? Now Democrats are saying, well, actually, poll watchers were allowed, but if they can't see it, look.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
This is the media, right? This is an entertainment show, politics, of course, but this is media. Okay, so we were covering the election. More people were watching it here than on any of the main networks that night, certainly on their online streams, right? It was unbelievable. We thank you so much. We're incredibly appreciative.
Crazy. Awesome.
We weren't granted the ability to cover the election. We were all strapped in to do it all night until the results. The only reason that we called it was because they said, all right, we're not going to do any more counting. We're going to start at 9 a.m. So we, the media, weren't allowed access, and that just means an up-to-date count. You told us it was shutting down, and you started it back an hour and 15 minutes later. So why would we believe that you actually want transparency in the process and had any poll watchers? Because we weren't allowed to do our job.
Yeah, exactly.
I find that nothing strange happens in the middle of the night when you swear you're not doing anything wrong.
especially in Detroit or Flint.
Oh, it's,
Right,
it's
yeah.
never seen it. Never done it myself.
They do their best work at night. Best work.
Oh, yes. It's always good.
Oh my god.
High class.
This is just where we'll be continuing through the states. I think tomorrow, I know we have Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't think of it as Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Thursday is Michigan, because you and I are both from Michigan.
Yeah.
What surprised me most about Michigan is not only the counties that were entirely red before that went blue, but some of the really red counties, and you look at those margins.
Yes.
Where Donald Trump won by a very slim amount in a county that was, 70, 80% Donald Trump, and he's barely eking by with like 58%. Michigan, I'm going to get a little nerdy and granular, because people go, well, you have to write Michigan off because it's a couple 100,000 votes. But when you actually get into the numbers, it's clear that something more sinister has been going on in Michigan, because it doesn't track with any of our previous elections in Michigan. And by the way, that also means the elections that Democrats have won, just to be clear.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.